Welcome to another episode of Toya Talks Wrestling, and today we're going to be talking about Raw, February 17th, 2025, and give you a couple of highlights of what I liked about the show. So it started off with Sami Zayn was talking about Kevin Owens, how Kevin Owens tried to end his career, but he didn't, and he failed, and he made one big mistake. He didn't do it. He didn't finish the job. He talks about how Kevin Owens, by the way, I need to apologize for something. I thought there was a match already made for between Sami and Kevin Owens. Apparently there was not. Anyways, I just want to throw that out there. Anyways, he talks about how Kevin Owens talking about how he was going to be in Toronto, Canada, and then he's like, well, I'm going to be in Toronto, Canada. I want to fight. I want to match. Wow, amazing. It's like they work for the same company or something. It's amazing how they both going to be at the same place at the same time. So, wow. Anyways, as he was saying all this stuff and everything else, Adam Pearce comes out and he's like, no. I already said no. Nick Aldis said no. You're not medically cleared and everything else. You know, if you have this match, it'll be an unsanctioned match. That means that Kevin Owens can pretty much do whatever he wants to you. If he wants to put a chair around your neck, and he can. If he wants to beat the living crap out of you, he can. And there's nothing. WWE washes their hands out of everything, right? And all this other stuff. Are you sure you want that match? That would be the end of the career for Sami Zayn and everything else like that. Right? And God is like, let them fight. I'm like, I know you're gonna listen to this crowd right now, but I'm trying to do what's best for Sami Zayn and everything else. So Adam Pearce starts walking up the ramp. Then Sami, he calls him, he follows him, and he stops him. He's like, yo, Adam, I understand all the situations, but that also means that I can do whatever I want to Kevin Owens, and you can't stop me. If I want to bring a chair around his neck, you can't stop me. If I want to power drive him up and down all these ramps all over the place, you can't stop me. And everything else like that. All I want is this match. And Adam Pearce is like, okay. At Elimination Chamber, it would be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. But it's not official. It's unsanctioned. So they're having an unsanctioned match, which pretty much means anything goes. Right. So I don't know. Is there a clear winner in this match? Or what? Do they do what they did with Team Kevin Owens and Randy Orton kind of thing? Because I would not mind having another match with these two at WrestleMania. But I'm thinking that probably Randy Orton's gonna come back and he's gonna help Sami, and we'll have Kevin Owens and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. I'm thinking that, but I don't know what Sami Zayn does. I mean, I know he has a little bit of a feud going on with Karrion Kross, so that could be a possibility. I don't know how you work that in and stuff like that, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. I mean, I would rather see Kevin and Sami at WrestleMania than Sami and Karrion Kross. But if that is all we can get, I'm happy for it, you know, stuff like that and everything else. Plus, I would love to see Randy Orton come back, so I'm just waiting for him to come back. Anyways, let's move on. So let's talk about part of the Judgment Day. So the Judgment Day was busy this night. Dominic Mysterio had a match with AJ Styles. We'll talk about that in a minute. Raquel Rodriguez had a chamber qualifying match, and so did Finn. So, but anyways, they were backstage, and you know, Dominic Mysterio was kind of like, I guess he was feeling unconfident about fighting AJ and you know, stuff like that. And Liv was like, oh, you know, you're gonna be fine, you're sexy and strong and everything else like that and all this stuff, and you're just smart and all that stuff. And Dominic was like, yeah, I hope that, you know, I wish Finn was still the same way. Well, not about the sexy part, but like the smart and everything else part. And I wish he would let us have another member in the Judgment Day. It would be a lot easier. So then Finn comes and he says, I heard my name and everything else, and we're just like, no, we're just talking about things and stuff like that and everything else. And Finn's like, yeah, everyone's gonna be a little busy today. We're all gonna be in an elimination chamber because Liv already had her match won, and you know, I'm gonna beat Seth Rollins tonight, and you know, hopefully Raquel can beat Roxanne, you know, because that would be kind of embarrassing. And Roxanne's like, not Roxanne, but Raquel's like, look, you just worry about you, okay? Don't worry about me, alright? I got this. And everything else. He's like, that's fine, or everything else, you know? And then he's like, he's about to leave, and he says, oh yeah, no new members of the Judgment Day. So I can see that maybe when Finn Balor, they're gonna kick Finn Balor out, and then they're gonna add a new member to the Judgment Day. I think they should just break them up, but whatever. I don't know who it would be. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's a new member coming to WWE, and they can just add them there. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Anyways, we had Liv and Raquel had an interview, I think with Kathy Kelly. I wasn't sure. One of the interviewers, and they're talking about how on SmackDown Bianca Belair and Naomi were watching a tape of, you know, the whole Jade thing and them standing there and everything else. And it was like, that doesn't mean anything. We were just standing there. We weren't doing nothing. Which they were not doing anything. They were just standing there. Like, what? Well, I don't think that's a crime. Like, I don't think that's a crime. Basically saying, like, you know what? We don't have time. We don't have time to talk anyways, because Raquel has her match for the chamber. And we'll both be in there and everything. You know, she's going to squish Roxanne like a bug and everything else. Then they leave and everything else. So we had a match with AJ and Dominic Mysterio, which was a pretty good match. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I've always enjoyed Dominic. I've been enjoying Dominic ever since he's been turning heel. I think he's been amazing. Even before he turned heel, I thought it was amazing, but now he's even more amazing. And then of course, AJ Styles is AJ Styles. Eventually, you know, you had Carlito come in, and you know, they gotta do the cheat time, try to cheat and everything else. But it ended up where AJ Styles did the Style Clash on Dominic Mysterio for the 1-2-3 win. And then you see Braun Breaker in the ring while AJ, like, you know, had his back turned towards him and everything else. And I guess AJ Styles must have felt his presence, because as soon as he turned around, he sidestepped, and Braun Breaker ends up spearing Dominic Mysterio instead. AJ kicks Braun Breaker out the ring, and then Braun Breaker took his shirt off and he throws it, and AJ Styles catches it with one hand. It's kind of like this embarrassing Braun Breaker left and right. So I don't know what this means, but if this means something between them two for the Intercontinental Championships, yeah, I'm all for it. I don't mind at all. So like I said, there was a match for the chamber for the women's. This is the last person, so it had Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. This was an okay match. It was an okay match. I really like Roxanne Perez. I think she's great. I think also because of the skin conditions of Raquel Rodriguez and everything else, it's kind of like she lost her confidence and everything. But hopefully it's coming back. I'm hoping it's coming back. I'm hoping, I really like her, and I think she's a great wrestler. And I think once she gets that motivation back in her again, you know, and stuff like that, she should be fine. She should be great. Anyways, it ended up with Roxanne beating Raquel. The reason why was because at one point you hear Bianca Belair's music, and here comes Bianca Belair, and she's coming out and everything else, and for some reason she looked like she had like a cheerleading outfit on. I don't know why, but she comes out, and Liv Morgan's like rolling her eyes, not like whatever, but like rolling her eyes, like, oh shit, here they come, right? Here she comes, right? And then she tries to book it, right? She tries to go the other way towards like the ring thing, but oh, wait a minute. Naomi's there. It's like, oh shit, right? And then they just pretty much beat the shit out of her. And you know, Raquel's watching, and she really can't do anything. I mean, I guess she could, and they could have got disqualified, and then Roxanne would have gone there, but she didn't. And Roxanne took advantage, gave her the pop rocks. I think that's her finishing move, and got the win, which pretty much was pretty predictable anyway. That we knew that she was gonna go in there. She is like the Tiffany Stratton last year. Last year, Tiffany Stratton was still in NXT, and she was going to be moved to SmackDown, and they put her in the Elimination Chamber. I think putting Roxanne in the Elimination Chamber is probably the same kind of move. I think she's going to be great. I think she's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited. So, she'll be in the chamber. So now we have all 6 ladies. We got Naomi, Bianca, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne, Bailey. Oh, and Liv Morgan. Wow. I totally forgot about Liv Morgan. Yeah, Liv Morgan. So you got those 6. I don't know who's gonna win. Like, I had this thought, right? I hope this doesn't come true, but I had this thought. So we find at Elimination Chamber who, like, the camera will come on and they'll show footage of who beat up who beat the shit out of Jade, right? And it's either Bianca Belair or Naomi. More likely it'll be Naomi, right? Naomi will beat up Jade, and you have that, and Bianca Belair will see it, and Bianca Belair will beat the shit out of, and Bianca Belair will even beat the shit out of Naomi, and then Liv Morgan will take advantage, and then she'll beat Bianca Belair, and then she'll go to WrestleMania, and then after Elimination Chamber, you had a match between Io and Rhea, and you know, Liv Morgan will go in there and mess things up, and then we'll have a triple threat match at WrestleMania between Io, Rhea, and Liv. I don't want to see that. I really don't. I really don't. But it's a possibility that we could see that. Hopefully not. But anyways, they did have backstage thing with Bianca Belair and Naomi basically talking to another interviewer. I think Cassie Kelly. Again, I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter. They were talking about how, you know, was that the punishment? And I was like, no, that's not even close to the punishment of between what they did, what Liv and Raquel did to Jade, which they didn't, by the way, but you know, and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, and if she goes into the ring, if she's the last 3, we're gonna beat her up. Cool. The only thing that's gonna matter in the elimination chain is like me and her are the last 2, and once we're the last 2, we're gonna fight for it and everything else. It doesn't matter if she wins or I win. One of us is gonna get that title. So again, I think they're gonna kick each other's ass, but I don't know. I was like, do they lose? Well, obviously they can't. Well, I mean, they have. Well, Elimination Chamber is next Saturday, so they have a match like on Monday. Titles, maybe, but I don't know. I have no idea. We'll see. We shall see. But anyway, let's move on. So there was a number 1 contenders match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. We had Dakota Kai versus Ivy Niles. Dakota Kai won, so there'll be a rematch with Dakota Kai and Lyra Valkyria. I want to get excited about this match, I do, but I'm not. I mean, they had a great qualifying match and everything, you know, for the not the qualifying match, but the winner for the match when they had the title itself. So, but I don't know. Like, I need one of these ladies to like be out more. Like, Lyra Valkyria needs to come out more. She needs to do some more promos and everything else like that, because it's just, it's dead before it even started. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, ladies. Like, y'all wanted this titles, and now it's like, You know, it's like, come on, work a little bit harder. You need to like just do a little bit more or something like that. Like, I don't know when this match is going to happen, but I'm probably guessing like after Elimination Chamber. But anyways, moving on. So we had a match between Penta and Pete Dunne. This was a really good match. Penta's not really having any bad matches, and he won this match, obviously. Luther Kaiser did come out on stage at one point, and then he eventually went down the ramp, and I think he was trying to distract and everything else, but Pete Dunne's like telling him get out the way and get lost or whatever like that, like I got it and stuff like that. And eventually they had Penta throw Pete Dunne into Luther Kaiser because he was out on the apron, and he did one of his finishing moves and got the pin, and then Kaiser comes in and they beat him, and he tries to beat the crap out of Penta, but Penta eventually got the best of both of them, and they both end up both walking away. I don't know what this means for Penta. I don't know what's going on with Penta. I could see Penta because he has been a streak. I could see Penta being in the I guess the rim of the Intercontinental Championship at some point. I don't know right now. I'm not sure. But eventually, the way things are going, I could see it happening. So yeah, but it was a really good match. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Anyways, next. So, somebody interviewed Jey Uso, basically saying that, you know, a lot of superstars don't think that he can get the job done and everything else. And basically Jey Uso was like saying, yeah, I'm gonna get the job done, I'm gonna beat Gunther. I don't care what the haters were saying and stuff like that. Just giving him his own riz. So that was pretty much it. And pretty much Jey was pretty much fired up after the whole Gunther thing. So yeah. Io Sky had a cool video package talking about how, you know, she respects Rhea Ripley, but she is going to beat her on the Monday after the Chamber and everything else. It was really cool. I don't think she's gonna beat Rhea. I think something's gonna happen. But either that or if Rhea actually beats her clean, I don't know what Io gonna do for WrestleMania. Not sure at all. Don't know. He could be probably involved in some kind of a match with Lyra and somebody else for that. I don't know. I don't know what she does. I have no idea what she does if she doesn't. I don't know. Something has to happen because I can't see Io not being at WrestleMania, but we shall see. There was an interview backstage. Seth Rollins is basically talking about how he's going to beat Finn Balor for a spot in the Elimination Chamber. They've been there before, whatever, blah blah blah. And then Karrion Kross comes in and basically like saying, you know, everybody's crazy. Seth Rollins thinks he's going to beat Finn. Sami Zayn thinks he's going to beat Kevin Owens and everything else and all this other stuff, and none of this is going to happen and everything else, and he pretty much walks off and everything else. Like I said, Sami and Karrion Kross, there's some sort of feud thing going on there and all that other stuff. So I would not be surprised if we see Sami versus Karrion at WrestleMania. And we had the New Day finally cut a promo. So last week we saw the New Day beating the shit out of Ray, and they purposely cut the thing off so that way they could put it online as like an extra or something like that. I guess to get people talking, which I'm like, you really didn't need to do that. You could have just played it on Raw and people would have been still talking about it regardless. But whatever. WWE, you do you, I guess. Whatever, I don't know. They're basically talking about why they did what they did to Ray was basically like, well, we need some respect. Kofi Kingston was like, I've been here longer than Ray has, and I have never left, and that is true. You know, Rey Mysterio left to go to work in WCW. I remember that perfectly. So and all those things, like that the audience should be happy that they were so merciful to like Ray. They could have beat him up worse than they did, and all this other stuff and everything else, and how they should be like, at least Kofi should be like the locker general or something like that, and all this other stuff. Eventually you had LWO come out, and they said, and then Dragon Lee has spoken for like the first time ever, and like his English is pretty good English, right? He did a good job, and they ended up basically just attacking the New Day, where the New Day ends up fleeing up the round. I mean, they didn't like flee, they like ran away, right? And ends up with that. So what's gonna happen is, I think that you're gonna get a match with LWO without Rey Mysterio versus New Day. New Day's probably gonna destroy them at some point, and because Rey's out with an injury right now and everything else, and then they're gonna get destroyed, and eventually Rey will come back, and I think that's when Big E comes back. A lot of people say Big E's not gonna come back because Big E wasn't at the Royal Rumble and everything else. I'm like, what is the point of Big E coming in the Royal Rumble if the New Day wasn't in the Royal Rumble, right? If the plan was never to have the New Day in the Rumble in the first place, then why would Big E be in the Rumble? You know what I mean? It don't make any sense, but it makes a lot of sense. Is like, you have, like, say, I don't know, the New Day's beating up on somebody, or like even Rey Mysterio comes back and the New Day comes in and all the stuff like that, and he's like, oh, you want some more, you didn't have enough, blah blah, whatever, you know, and stuff like that, and then you hear Big E's music come, and like, imagine the freaking pop. People like, well, it's too late. Why is it too late? Like, how is it too late? We can totally have this match at WrestleMania. Like, after the Chamber, have Rey Mysterio come back, and like maybe like, I don't know, like 2 weeks before like WrestleMania or something like that, and everything else. Or you can even have it at WrestleMania. It's like, why, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, don't worry, I'll get a partner and stuff like that. You know, I can see it. You know, it's like, people are like, well, because they didn't have it on Rumble. I was like, well, you know, we could still have it at Mania. We could still have that surprise at Mania. And that would be fucking incredible, right? So, we can do that. We've been surprised before. We got surprised when we were thinking about last year. We thought we were going to get Stone Cold Steve Austin, which would have been great. But we got The Undertaker, which is just as good, right? Which also makes a lot of sense because Undertaker was the general of the locker room back in the day. So, but like, I can see them surprising us at WrestleMania. You know, I can totally see it happening. But yeah, let's move on. So we got the last thing, which was the main event. We had the men's qualifying match, Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. This was a good match, but I mean, of course it was a great match. This is Seth and fucking Finn. Why would it be a bad match? At one point, though, there was a little bit of a botch. I hate using that word. Not really. You know what? No, it wasn't a botch. I think that Finn was pinned and he forgot to kick out and stuff like that. I don't know if he was concussed. I don't know if something happened or whatever, but the referee counted 1, 2, and then he hesitated and said he kicked out, and Finn eventually kicked out like really slowly and everything else. So hopefully there's nothing seriously wrong or something happened to him and everything else like that. I mean, the match went on and all the other stuff. Seth Rollins did tell the ref to suck it, right? And the audience was like, what did the audience say? This ref can't count or something like that. I don't know, but I think it maybe something happened to Finn at a couple of seconds and stuff like that. But hopefully he's okay. I honestly thought that Finn was going to win with the coup de grace, but eventually they did a couple of reversals, and one reversal next to another reversal where Seth Rollins did the stomp and got the pin. he also did the pedigree. Like, I remember back in the day when Triple H did the pedigree, it pretty much knocked people out. Now the pedigree is just used as a regular move, just like the super kick, just like the DDT. I mean, I get it, new era and stuff like that, but some moves, like, you're killing people's finishing moves. It's like, knock it off. But anyways, so there's your sixth member of the Elimination Chamber. So you have John, you have Punk, you have Drew, you have Damian Priest, you have Logan Paul, and you have Seth Rollins. It's either between John Cena or CM Punk. I'm not really sure. I think that Roman Reigns screws Seth Rollins, and we probably get that match at WrestleMania. Maybe. I'm not sure. Damian and Drew could probably have something. If it's John Cena, you can probably get a Logan Paul and CM Punk. But like I said, I don't know. I mean, anything is possible. I mean, the qualifying matches were pretty predictable, but this right here, I'm not actually sure. I'm pretty sure, like, I can guarantee you that Seth ain't going, and Drew ain't going, Damian ain't going, and like Logan ain't going. So it's gonna be either Punk, Cena, or both. I have no idea. I have no idea. I've discussed this already last week, but we shall see what's going to happen. Anyways, like I said, it was a pretty decent Raw. I don't think there's anything else wrestling wise I'm going to talk about this week, but if so, I'll put it out there for you. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye!